ahead. The boy roll, y'all. Check it out. I don't know what this world's gonna be, but I know one thing, and this is the life for me. Baby, cause I'm a thug. Oh, baby, baby, cause I'm a thug. Wouldn't change for the world. I'm a thug. That's right, baby, cause I'm a thug. Check it out. Could it be my packaging and my gold teeth that make me different from y'all? Ain't tripping, dog. Listen, dog. I always take this from y'all. Just doing my thing. That's my ghetto slang and I'm representing thugs. She's who I roll with. Why them niggas that gon' love? Niggas who I don't bun. On the run. Got 10 years on the road. You ain't saying, dog. I'ma say it to y'all. Motherfuck the po-pos. Fuck the WCO. Fuck the DA and PO. Fuck the family of the victim. Witness that stitch your assholes. I don't know what this world's gonna be, but I know one thing, that this is the life for me. Baby, cause I'm a thug. Oh, baby, baby, cause I've been watching you watching him. You must wanna fuck.
Let's get it, DJ. What's going on with you, player?
Was goody, was goody, was goody. Shit, it's been about a month.
Yeah, man. It's been about a month. A good month, bro.
Yeah. Brought a new little man into the world. You know, that's kind of been the reason for the delay, but it couldn't have came at a better season because we are in the off season.
Right.
And I'll tell you right now, that boy put me through hell. So hopefully this mug is gonna be a beast as he get older. But he came out a beast, 21 inches. You know what I'm saying? 10 pounds, 1 ounce.
Right.
38 weeks. So,
You know what I'm saying? We got a future Carolina Panther over there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Hey, if he a Carolina Panther, man, shit, I'd be sick. But I have his jersey on, but I ain't gonna wear the paraphernalia. You're still gonna see the Tampa Bay stuff. I would have to wear that. But that's definitely the hope.
That's yeah. Congratulations on your little man. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
I knew that's something that you wanted, man. So I'm glad God blessed you with that. So you can get that balance, man. You got your daughter already, so now you get your son. So you got your balance in the household. Yeah. Everything worked out on them two. Some have to keep going to get the opposite effect. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, you ain't have to. So if you want to keep going, it's up to you. If you don't,
what my boy do shit.
What's going on, Tyree?
Tyree, what's goody, my guy?
Yeah, man. Yes, hey, man, we got a lot to talk about. Yeah, like DJ said, man, we've been gone hiatus for about a month, man. DJ, it's a funny story. He's in the hospital on a Tuesday because we were going to go live on Tuesdays. And I knew he was having a baby, and then I was going to go. Well, I ended up at the hospital. So
yeah,
I couldn't go live either, man. And has a little health stuff, but I'm good. Your boy good over here. DJ good over there. He might just have a little a little sleep deprived. But other than that, it's good, man. And we in the off season, y'all. NFC South versus the NFL. And if you don't know, I'm your boy Mike Ricks, man, and it's my co-host. Shout out to my boy Tampa Bay Buccaneers over there.
What's going on, DJ? You already know, all day Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But we football fans. We watch football. We does this.
Facts.
Got Carolina Panther and the Bucs fan. But we know what's going on. We got the juice for you. And we gonna bring it. We're gonna bring it. There's a lot of things that happen.
Yeah.
I know from a Tampa Bay's perspective, we watched the quarterback retire, get unretired. And we watched a tight end retire.
Right.
It's probably the biggest news right now in Tampa land. I mean, obviously, there's been some things that's happened. We talked about in previous podcasts. Definitely go check them out. But yeah, that's the big news right now. Obviously, Rob Gronkowski has called it quits.
Mm-hmm.
Has not. We're not sure yet because his boy Tom Brady called it quits and turned right back around and turned it back on. So I don't know. We're gonna call it for right now for what it is as being retired, but it's something to watch. It definitely hurts the Bucs from an offensive standpoint.
Absolutely.
And you still got Tom Brady, which he's gonna find a way. He's gonna find a way. Along with you already got a lot of pieces. There's a lot of things going on with Tampa Land to really get into if we want to get into it. Maybe later. We got plenty of time. Actually, we got like 2 weeks till training camp. I guess we're going to break down those dates as well.
That's
the big thing with the Bucs right now.
Right. And Carolina, big news. We're not going to get into it right now, but we're going to get into it because it is the main topic, the main event. And the only reason why it's the main topic and main event is because it's the most current and recent event. And this big news is going to be all over national media. It's already being talked about. You will wake up in the morning. You're going to see it on every network that's going to talk about sports and especially football in the morning. It's going to be the talk. So one thing about this, and I got to give David Tepper this, man. He's a money guy. What this does is it makes the Carolina Panthers, you have to really talk about us because week 1, Carolina Panthers host the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I saw that.
Very similar to last year with Sam. We ain't going to pump the brakes on that. We ain't going to get too much into that, man. But let's just get into the NFC South, man. What you want to do? You want to talk about the training camps, man? Or we're going to highlight the days and go into some of the teams, signings and things that's going on?
Let's just highlight some things, get some cleaning out the way while we got people coming into the chat. Hey, Trill, what's good, my man? I see you down there.
Trill,
goody? New Orleans Saints. Obviously, the biggest thing I think with the New Orleans Saints is the pending Alvin Kamara suspension coming up.
Right.
That's going to be something that is going to impact the Saints tremendously. Because for how many years it's been now, he's definitely been their offense. And losing a piece like that, especially coming into the season, is going to be huge for the New Orleans Saints. Now the question is, for how long are they going to lose him? Outside of that, it seems like everything else, there's no injuries, nothing going on with them as well. And then you got the Atlanta Falcons. They had 2 signings. Damian Williams, running back, formerly known, he played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears, you're right. Immediately, probably you got to look at an upgrade. I mean, outside of Cordell Patterson, they drafted the rookie this year. That was one position that we looked at in the offense that if you talk about they need a dire position person just to be there, that's definitely what they need to do. Damian Williams has been a decent running back in this league. And they finally got a running back in the league down there because they got rid of Mike Davis, obviously. Mike Davis, nothing special, obviously. Damian Williams is going to add something to that room, and we'll see what it transpires to be. We don't know. And then their second pickup, which I think is going to be impactful, if he can get back to what he was prior to him taking the COVID year off, is Eddie Goldman. Eddie Goldman signed a 1-year contract with the Atlanta Falcons. That definitely bolsters, in my opinion, their interior line that they needed to. I mean, they had a bunch of nobodies, which Eddie Goldman, at his height, was one of the best nose tackles in the league. Definitely. 2020, he took off the year because of COVID. He came back in 2021. I heard looking at all the things that I saw, there was a lot of things going on with him and the Chicago Bears. He wasn't returning phone calls. He wasn't doing a lot of things. So there was definitely parting ways going on with that, right? So, it seems like he didn't want to be there no more, and he's probably happy to be released and probably be excited to get down the lane. Who knows? But that's another piece we'll see if he's going to turn into something. But it definitely could be a good signing for Atlanta Falcons.
Absolutely, that's Black Hollywood.
Yeah, you probably will enjoy yourself down there. Just watch out for them things that be hanging to on them, girl. Just tell you, boy, you better watch out. Better watch out, goddamn. Got a lot of surprises down there for you.
You already know what they do with Black Hollywood. Hey.
Oh yeah, and I guess last little house cleaning, we'll just go over training camp, man. Yo, Mike, we here, man.
Yes, sir, we are.
We are less than 2 weeks from training camp. And we'll just run down how this is gonna look. All right, so you got the Atlanta Falcons, so we just finished off with them. Rookies will be reporting July 19th. Veterans will be there on July 26th. New Orleans Saints, same schedule, July 19th. Veterans, July 26th. Tampa Bay Buccaneers report rookies July 23rd. And then Veterans, July 26th. Carolina Panthers, got to be special, huh? Let's report everybody at the same time on July 26th.
Hey.
Veterans and rookies. So definitely it's time of the year to really start looking into schedules, breaking down stuff. If you want all that, stay tuned. We're going to be here Wednesdays, 9:30. But, we a little CP time, so we might be like 9:45. But we're going to be here Wednesdays coming at you with information. And that's all I really got, Mike. Starting things off with a little house.
Yeah, that's about it, man. You can say we want to be special all you want to, but you're right. I don't understand why. Maybe I have no idea, but we are doing it a little differently this year based on everybody else. It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be extremely, extremely fun this off season. Just to check out a lot of battles. We got a lot of shakeups in the division. We got multiple coaching changes. We got Todd Bowles that's taking over for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know he's been there, but it's still a different role for him, so we got to see what's going to happen there. Dennis Allen, very same situation. Defensive coordinator that's taken over, that's been there for a while, and with their team. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do at the helm. You also got the younger coaches with Arthur Smith and Mr. Matt Rule. Don't nobody else like him. Shout out to my boy Panther Buzz.
As they should.
Appreciate you. I know you feeling good. But we're gonna talk about that, man. We're gonna get right into it.
Sold out. Bank of America for who?
For that game. What you man?
For who? Oh, the game. Oh, Cleveland.
Well, hey, let's go get into it. Let's just get into it, right? I know. We got a lot more stuff to talk about. We're going to get to it. We're going to talk about Grump. We're going to talk about Alvin Kamara more in depth. But this is the hot topic right now, so let's just get into Baker Mayfield, y'all. Let's get into Baker!
Give me the details, Mike. Yeah, the damn details.
All right, let's get into the details, man. Carolina Panthers pulled off the heist of the year. And the only reason why I'm saying it's the heist of the year is because they were extremely patient with this. Now, were they going to release Baker Mayfield? Probably. Baker had to go regardless. But to be able to sit patiently because the Cleveland Browns did not want to pay majority of that salary that they gave Baker Mayfield. Carolina was like, there's no way in the world we're about to pay $8 million or more of. Actually, we had a set number, which was $5 million. That's as much as we're going to pay. We're not going to give you a whole bunch of capital. We're going to learn from our mistakes with the Sam Darnold situation, and we're going to stay fit. And that's what we did. We had Sam Darnold, and so we drafted Matt Corral because that was a guy that we liked. And we're like, okay, we do need competition. Matt Corral throwing a rookie out there, third round. It might be tough to just throw him out there if you got a roster right now with everything else around it, with the upgrading of the offensive line, the young flying defense, the playmakers, the running back depth, et cetera, et cetera. Why not go ahead and try to compete now? But what we're not going to do is be a repeat offender. So I appreciate what Scott Fitterer did and being able to just pay Baker Mayfield $5 million. $5 million because Baker took a $3.5 million cut just so this deal can get done. Also, we only gave up a conditional 5th round pick that could turn into a 4th round pick if he just happens to ball out and plays a lot of games. I don't know all the terms with that, but to me, this is a steal. You got a 1st round overall pick in Baker Mayfield, regardless how anybody feels about him. You have a guy that's made it to the playoffs, that's had a winning seasons and things like that. And you also have a young guy that's going to have a chip on his shoulder. This is a high reward, low risk move. This is what you call actually being a great GM. So I got to give kudos to that, man, because that's something that we haven't had a lot of. I'm not saying Marty Hurney's terrible, but this is a great move. Whether you like Baker or not, financially, and when it comes to GMs and move, you want to bring as much competition as possible to this locker room, especially at that position, and you did it at a very low price. So those are the terms, DJ. I'll get more in depth into it. I don't want to take all the time right now. But great move by Carolina. Will it pan out? We'll see.
I mean, the Browns had no chips on the table for this. You know what I'm saying? They blew their load. They basically showed their hand by already, obviously getting Deshaun Watson. Everybody knew how unhappy he was. Baker Mayfield, he was very clear about it. He didn't want to be there no more. So any team that was going to come there to take it for as a trade, the Browns were going to get much for him. But still kudos to the GM because they still were the ones to make the trade. Because obviously you had other teams that were interested, be it Seattle or whatever other teams they try to put out there. Right. Seattle was the only other team that really made sense to me from a quarterbacking, need position. That could have probably came in there. But yes, kudos to the Carolina Panthers just to bring another mediocre to below mediocre quarterback into the room. Congratulations. So
that's fair.
So it's going to become competition. You got two fifth-year quarterback going into the fifth year. You're going to get the best out of it, both of them probably.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're definitely going to get the best in training camp of whoever's going to start.
Absolutely, we're going to get the best.
It don't mean it's going to be great, but hey.
But that's what you want. Well, this is what I'll say to that, man. And Baker Mayfield is a guy, and we know if you don't know, I'm going to give you just a tad bit of a history lesson. This is a guy that went to Texas Tech, did the walk-on thing, did all of that, had to do that at Oklahoma. He had to earn every opportunity that he got in college, and he flourished. This is a guy that won the Heisman, competed at the highest level, smacked Ohio State in the mouth, which Ohio State's been a powerhouse in college football. Go up against another powerhouse in Georgia and take them 2 or 3 overtimes to lose the game. He's a guy that came in and had, his first season didn't have a lot, didn't start from jump, but he went 6-7, which is almost a 500 record. Not bad. They were still in rebuild mode. Then the next year they got a better pieces and all of that. They went 6-10. The year after that, when he got healthy, that third year, it seemed like it just clicked. Bam! 11-5. 11-5 and took his team to the playoffs. What do you have, DJ? 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I mean, he played really, really. I remember him playing the Carolina Panthers, and he lit us up. And I was like, dang, Baker's crazy. Crazy. But he's not a guy that I was personally a fan of. I'm not going to sit there and lie to y'all and sugarcoat and say I think this guy is what was going to be the next Peyton Manning or the next Tom Brady or hell, even Russell Wilson, any of that. But what he does have that I think goes unnoticed a lot of times when people talk about players is adversity. He's overcome adversity. He's a dog. He's a competitor, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's done it at every level. He's won. Right now, he's 29-30 overall, which isn't terrible. He's right at 500, and he's won and taken the doo-doo Browns to the playoffs. You can suck your teeth all you want to. Ain't nobody else done it, DJ. He took the doo-doo Browns first overall. You know how that is. We talked about that with Jameis. We talked about that with Peyton Manning. We talked about that with Cam Newton. Usually when you go first, you go to one of the worst teams in the NFL at that time. And what did he do? He helped change it out and get them to the playoffs within 2 years, or his third year. He helped change that whole team. Facts, Panther Buzz. He helped change that whole team all around. And they've been drafting quarterbacks and drafting players and drafting quarterbacks and drafting players, and ain't none of them get it right. You can scratch your forehead all you want to, ain't none of them get it right. And then Baker comes. But yet no one wants to give him credit for it. No one wants to give him credit for it because he's not throwing for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns like a Justin Herbert. That ain't done nothing. Sick of it. Give this man an opportunity. He has exactly what he did in Oklahoma. He got a stable of running backs. He got multiple tight ends, and he got his receiver, one of his favorite receivers, and Higgins on the roster. And that's our fourth receiver. DJ, this was an outstanding move. Now, will he take us to the playoffs and the promised land this year? It's a lot to ask coming in this late. What are your thoughts about that, my G? Coming in, here it is, July 6th. Training camp, we just talked about it, starts for us in 20 days. How does he make up the slack? Can he make up the slack? Because you can't tell me he's not better than Sam Darnold. You can't tell me he's not better than Sam Darnold. If we go through the list of quarterbacks right now that are starting quarterbacks in the NFL, I guarantee you, based on what Baker's done, he's a top 20 quarterback of all of those starters. And Sam is 33rd, and it's only 32 teams in the NFL.
Well, of course. I mean, this is an upgrade over a Sam Darnold, but a top 20?
If you take all the quarterbacks that's in the league right now that's an active starter, he is a top 20 quarterback as of right now. And that's considering these rookies because they got to grow and they got to do what they got to do. You mean tell me Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, I ain't saying they won't be better, but they right now, if you look at all the active starting quarterbacks, you can't tell me he doesn't fit in that top 20. And I'm being modest.
Relax, Panther Buzz.
You're right. I'm being modest. Relax.
15 now. No. Hasn't done anything in his career. Dog, thank you.
Well,
let's get Mike off of this high horse.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let you get off. But if he ain't an African American quarterback, a black quarterback, Dog gonna say all that anyway. Next, go ahead, my G.
I'm just saying. Let's not sit here.
Love you, boy.
And act like, you know what I'm saying, y'all just got the next coming of damn.
Don't want Cam.
Of Cam, there you go. Because it's in household name.
I don't want
You
Cam.
said it yourself. All right. But let's get down to, you did your whole praise and all that other stuff. You tried to, shit on the Browns who decided to get a quarterback that they knew had a history that could possibly get in trouble and gave up the buttload to get out of Baker Mayfield. I mean, that's exactly what they freaking did. They were like, you know what? This guy going into his fifth year, we shouldn't even give him this contract. And we're going to go get Deshaun Watson, who's not even going to be playing for them most likely this entire year and playing with Jacoby Brissett. They thought it was that important to get rid of Baker Mayfield from them being, you said he has led them to the playoffs. He's this great quarterback.
No.
2 years ago, but all of a sudden last year they're like, you know what? Yeah, that thing you did 2 years ago, that doesn't matter. You weren't as good as we thought you were coming in as a first overall pick. Just quit on him. They didn't even let him finish his 5 years out. So I would pump my brakes on this whole Baker excitement thing. I mean, he's going into his fifth year, which means that this might put you guys in a very interesting, place. He's gonna have to sign a contract. Let's say if he has a halfway decent year, because I can already hear the excuses. Well, he came late. He had to learn the playbook. He had to do this, that, and the third. And he kind of came in and had a decent year, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,600 yards. Carolina Panthers won 7-8 games this year. We got to re-sign him. You got to re-sign him. I can hear and see this playing out. And then you're going to have to sign him. You're not going to sign him. Baker, we've already seen Baker show his ass. Baker's going to be like, well, I deserve more. He's going to want a long-term contract. It's a very interesting predicament that you guys put yourself in if he does play halfway decent this year with you guys. Because once again, your fan base, which unfortunately you guys been losing, are divided, and y'all gonna go two different directions with this. So you're gonna have some people like Baker did this. Oh, he was so much better, And then you're at the other side like, oh, he wasn't good enough. Let's go give Matt Corral a chance or something like that. Because you did just draft a third-round pick that you yourself on this podcast were very excited about.
I still am.
Yourself. Exactly. But if Baker has a halfway decent season, you just let him walk?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people don't understand part of the reason why Baker is important to this move. And I know I'm doing some things real quick. So,
yeah, because Matt Corral, no matter what, you're going to want him to sit this year.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, you're going to want him to sit the entire year, grow, play some preseason games, learn the playbook with Ben McAdoo, which might have been a reason why Ben McAdoo might have signed off on this deal. Because he might have been like, I don't really like this kid, but I like Matt Corral, and I want him to sit a year. So bring him in. I don't really care what he does, because at the end of the day, we're not going to keep him anyway.
Thank you.
And let him go. Let him go after this.
Well, my bad, go ahead.
But then that next year, once again, if he has a halfway decent, obviously we don't need to talk about that right now, but there is going to be some interesting things to think about if somehow Baker Mayfield has a season similar to the one he had 2 years ago.
And that's very well possible. But I just want to point out something here and show a little something about Mr. Matt Corral. A lot of people are very, very, very bothered by Mr. Matt this move because it's gonna stunt the growth of Matt Corral. They throw him out there, get the bumps and bruises, and let him learn. That doesn't always work for everybody.
It hasn't worked really for any.
Tom Brady set, Patrick Mahomes set. The list goes on. A lot of these quarterbacks set. Give them an opportunity to learn and develop how to truly be a quarterback in the NFL.
The
reason I bring up Matt Corral and brought this up is because, listen now, Matt Corral, comparison. What does that say? Oh, okay. Well, if you can't see it, I forgot DJ need a little whatchamacallit. What does that say? Baker Mayfield. So if you have a guy that he's compared to, but could be better, and you're a guy that you can have at a cheaper price, and you can get the guy on a cheap deal of $5 million to create depth on your football team in competition, why not bring the guy in that he's compared to so he can grow and learn how to be? I'm not saying he's going to learn how to be a professional from him. All I'm saying is he can learn how to play the NFL game by just sitting and practicing and developing and let this guy take all the shots. So now you can just say, guess what? I'm going to get rid of him. He's going to be gone. Let him go out because he's going to come with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to come with a huge chip on his shoulder because he's not just playing for Carolina. He's playing for his future. He's playing for an opportunity to stay in this football league. Because if he doesn't, then everybody's going to look at him exactly what DJ's looking at him is like, well, he ain't that good. He might have to just be a backup and take that role. And that's fine. He can play for another contract. But what this does is it allows the Carolina Panthers to go ahead and try to compete now to allow Matt Corral, our future potentially, to sit. So it makes a ton of sense to me because I see it, and I saw this a while ago, that Baker Mayfield was his comparison. And then I went back and I started watching film again, watching the college, watching all of that. And the man does a phenomenal job with read options, very similar to Matt Corral, getting the ball out of his hands quickly, makes big time throws. There's a list of quarterbacks that he is compared to over since 2018 of quarterbacks that's making big time throws. I think he ranked 5th right behind Tom Brady. I think it was Patrick Mahomes, it was Aaron Rodgers, it was Russell Wilson, and then it was this guy right here. This guy right here, Baker. Baker was always a top 15, whatever it is, and people want to say PFF grade. Hear me. You talk about PFF, he was always, and I got it. I can pull it up if you want to. PFF grades last year, he was hurt. DJ talked about the whole, they got rid of him. They're going to take a sexual assault guy or whatever it was, let you give him fully guaranteed to say, yes, they want you to be our fifth-year option. Well, guess what? Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback. Deshaun Watson, before all this happened, was arguably playing like the best quarterback in the NFL. And you yourself, sir, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, said the same thing about Jameis Winston whenever Tom Brady came. It took a caliber.
We didn't trade. We didn't give up the farm for a player. We didn't do that. It makes yes, it does matter.
You got rid of him.
It matters. What are you talking about? Mike, you're talking about they gave up the farm for this man. They gave up everything to give up on Baker. Not even allow this man to finish his fifth-year option that they did give him. They gave it to him a fully guaranteed fifth year to play for the Cleveland Browns, and turned around and said, "Nah, we're gonna give up 2 first-rounders, 3 second-round, whatever the hell. I don't know the Deshaun Watson deal," and said bye.
Mm-hmm.
And to compare, and for Matt Corral to be compared to Baker Mayfield, there's nothing about that would excite me if I was a Carolina Panther. Simple and put. I mean, this man at best might be around 20, and when you sit there and argue about it. So,
Baker?
Yes, Baker's not a top 15 quarterback.
Well, what's the difference between? Hold on. See, this is the part that trips me out. You do this same argument with Jameis, but yet
Jameis is not a top 20 quarterback right now. He has to still get there, obviously.
I'm not talking about what you mean. Okay, if we take a look, and I got the quarterbacks up. If we take a look at the quarterback list, you can't tell me because of all the rookies and all of that Baker is not a top 20. He's not a top 20. You mean to tell me Davis Mills right now is better than him? You need to tell me Trevor Lawrence right now has done more than him? You mean to tell me Tua, Mitchell Trubisky, Marcus Mariota, Justin Fields
out there? You love though Mitchell Trubisky out there.
I love Trubisky.
He went to the playoffs, but he did do more than Baker Mayfield. And he went to the playoffs more than your Baker Mayfield.
He embarrassed y'all. That's why. You can't tell me Drew Lock is better than him. Man, look, I can go through
that's like you gave me 5 quarterbacks so far. I'm still listening. No,
I didn't. You talked through the other 5.
What's the other 5?
The other 5 that you
What's
didn't hear.
5?
You didn't hear. You too busy talking. Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, Marcus Mariota. I kept going on. Mitchell Trubisky, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa. Davis Mills,
8.
Davis Mills. You got Ryan Tannehill.
Been in the playoffs more. He's done a lot more than Baker Mayfield. So
did I say Jalen Hurts? I didn't say Jalen Hurts yet.
That's arguable. I wouldn't say he's better than them. That's arguable. He's been to the playoffs. This is his second year play already. He's already been to the playoffs, right, Mike? That's what we're talking about, right? Because that was your argument. Exactly. So we're now starting to get to the par area for Baker Mayfield. You're at now 9 quarterbacks, and I put Jalen as number 9.
Now that should have been 10. That should have been 10.
All right, 10. Cool.
So
22. We're at 22. 21 now.
So that's what, 22, 21?
Because y'all here, the chat, I saw it 15, and it was
Mac
Jones. Mike. Facts.
I said 20.
Give me
I said 20.
Those quarterbacks, because y'all so 20. Excited to make this guy, as the media has done as well, as the darling Mr. State Farm, as somebody impressive to look at. Please tell me 16 quarterbacks that this man is better than.
I can't give you that.
Okay. If you want to give him around that 20 area, okay, cool.
Jameis Winston. That's right, daggone it. I'm saying I didn't even mention Jameis. Jameis Winston.
I don't care. He's a Saint.
I'm saying, no, it ain't that. I'm just saying that's another guy I didn't mention.
We're still 21, 20-ish.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But you just pulled up Matt Corral's profile. They compared Matt Corral to possibly around the 20th quarterback in the NFL.
What's wrong with that?
Out of all the quarterbacks you have named, how many of them are really winning? The only person I can think of that you named that did win was with what's his name? That used to be with Chicago. You named him because you love to throw him out there. Mr. Trubisky is the only one, maybe out of that whole entire spiel, that really has won.
And that's my point. And I was going to throw Jared Goff. I was going to throw Jared Goff. Everybody has
Jared Goff has won.
I think, me personally, that's the only reason why. Jared Goff is taking his team. Y'all can take the ground, whatever it is. Jimmy G has won, been to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz was playing the MVP season before.
Exactly. So you can't even give him that. Nope. Sorry. No, I'm not talking about the. I know you did. Yeah, I'm not talking about you, Mike. Like, let's just be real. Like I said, let's just. Once again, okay.
They're young. That's my point, DJ. These are young quarterbacks.
Baker is going into his 5th year. That's the thing.
So
that's the thing. He's not a young baby, and he's an older 5th year because he was older coming into the league. What's Baker's age?
I ain't no big Kyler Murray fan either. I think he's overrated. But anyway,
no, he is a little overrated.
No, he's not overrated.
Yeah, no, okay, whatever. Yeah, he is overrated. But he's 27 years old. Baker Mayfield is as of right now. So he's a little older going into his 5th year.
Right, he is.
So, look, I'm just saying, let's just pump the brakes with the whole praise. So we heard this with Sam Darnold. We heard this with, which I still think I should on Teddy Bridgewater, because I probably should still be in the year of Teddy Bridgewater. Y'all able to bridge that out and get a quarterback like a Matt Corral.
He had to go. He was disobedient. He was doing what he wanted to do. This man,
Robbie is disobedient. Robbie is disobedient.
You know what, huh?
Robbie is disobedient. I don't see him get slapped on the wrist.
Quarterback.
He on the limelight. I mean, this man is making it clear to know he got a little money. He like, man, I'm saying what I want, even though he ain't playing like I could do what I want. You got disobedient people.
He ain't my quarterback. He was stepping out of line. I understand logically it makes sense. We probably should have kept Teddy because it made more sense to just get that guy and bridge a quarterback. It made sense. But he was disobedient. He wasn't following instructions. He was just
massive.
What he wanted to do.
All right, massive.
Yes, you say what you want. That's right. The man lost us multiple games. Like, I'll never forget that daggone Green Bay game where we practice. We ain't jumping over no daggone huddle. You go low and get the ball in the end zone. And he want to be Superman Cam and try to dive over the huddle and fumble the daggone ball at the goal line. And we end up losing that game and we should have won. Teddy Bridgewater was defiant and had to go. But that's not the debate here. The debate is, DJ, as it stands, as a current football team, does Baker Mayfield make this football team better more than Sam Darnold, PJ Walker, and Matt Corral, a young rookie? And yes. Does he make them a whole lot better? Don't know. I wouldn't say that. You can't deny that.
It's not that I can't deny it. You're right. You're right. I mean, the quarterback position as it stands without Baker Mayfield is a scary place. Even I don't want to make it sound like adding him into it is like, oh, thank God we got a quarterback now. It's just like you might be a little bit better. Like, yeah. And I don't know. This is something very interesting that I'm watching to see what happens. You got Baker Mayfield coming into the Carolina Panthers 2 weeks out from training camp. And he's now having to come and adjust from the Browns, which it took him until year 3 for it to click, as you said, right? Now he has 3 weeks.
He showed flashes. But yeah, you're right.
He has 3 weeks to get to close to that form, which took him 3 years to do. Interesting. Like I said, it's very interesting. Look, I'm not saying he can or cannot do it, but once again, I don't know, because as of right now, he I guess I'm not high as on Baker as y'all can hear. I do think he is a bottom tier quarterback. I think he is 20 or below, and for him to now not have a full offseason, because I can already hear the excuses coming. Him not having a full offseason to get some camaraderie with your wide receivers, with your tight ends, and all that other stuff, and him to be really good.
Man, all Baker has to do is be Tannehill, and I'm not saying it's easy. It's really just be Tannehill and a tad bit better. We got hands down
Tannehill or better.
We got hands down, the best. Man, we have the best running back room in the NFC South. It ain't even close.
But your running back can't stay on the field in 2 years.
I said room.
Without your number one, your room doesn't matter.
That's bull crap.
Your room ain't shit after that.
Cuba with C-Mac, it's the best in the South, and it's not even close. It's not close. So,
all right,
if you want to, the way we're gonna play, you got the arguably, statistically, the best defense. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that we have the best, but statistically, we have the best defense in the NFC South.
Don't even do that, Mike. Don't do that.
Yes,
don't do that.
We finished.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You can't even say that with a straight face. Like seriously.
Finish second.
What?
Finish second.
Oh
Finish second.
He does this shit every fucking year. Oh,
so now
with second of 5, still 5-2. I got worse.
That's because of the quarterback play.
You got worse with that defense.
We couldn't put the ball at all.
God damn, man.
You see that?
You know for damn sure y'all ain't got the best defense in the South. You lost your damn mind. You were losing your mind on this fucking ass right now.
How am I losing my mind? We're younger. We're athletic.
How you got the best secondary?
Hey, I told him that too. He's just hard.
I'm not even talking about my team. I'm not even talking about my team. See, okay.
He's hard.
Let's keep this a buck. The best defense, and has played the best defense, has been the best defense in this. And I can care less about them as well. It's the New Orleans Saints. I mean, you're talking about a team that doesn't have a quarterback. You know, you guys crying about a goddamn quarterback. A quarterback that I heard still won 9 games last year.
It wasn't better than us.
He won 9 games last year.
Well, but that's
like, and then you talk about a secondary. They have a better secondary than you guys. Like, what are you talking about?
No, they don't.
Oh my god. I mean, obviously, I can throw it in the Bucs so we can have that conversation as well when we talk about a defense. Because with that defense, once again, y'all haven't done squat.
Yes, we have. You mean like overall team? That's when you have the 31st offense.
I've already talked about this. I've had you pull up stats. That is something that does not happen. If you have a top 5 defense, there's no way you should only be winning 5 games, even if you don't have a quarterback. Even if you don't have a quarterback, you should not be winning 5 games.
That's not true. If you don't give me a team that has a top 5 defense with no quarterback that was winning.
As you said, New Orleans Saints, they didn't have a quarterback.
Who didn't have a quarterback? Jameis gave him a 5-2 start. What are you talking about? They had a losing record.
That's not even half the season. It's not even half the season, Mike.
And they went 4. You said it yourself. They went what? 4 and what? 4-7?
No, they were 5-2.
After Jameis went out, what was their record?
They were 4 and
my point exactly. My point exactly.
But they still did enough to win and still get 9 games. And y'all had y'all quarterback. What Sam Darnold got hurt a little bit during the season?
Man, look.
They had a tight end at quarterback and they still won some games.
and we had chicken shit at quarterback.
You had a player that played quarterback the entire life. You know, Sam Darnold played quarterback his entire life.
He did.
This man was a gadget player that came in.
He was a quarterback in college.
Man, come on, man. Don't.
Look, if you can't regardless how you want to put it, we talk numbers, this and that. I know film shows this. Say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. We ranked second in the NFL when it came to defensive stat, yards, whatever you want to put. We came second or top 5. Our defense played well. If we would have just had a little bit of offensive production, just a little bit, DJ, then it's
as it stands right now, it's an anomaly. You gotta do it again. Repeat it this year. We can have this conversation next year. Right. We can have that conversation. New Orleans Saints have played some really good defense for a couple of years.
You always say that because y'all can't do nothing with it. You say that because y'all can't do nothing with it.
What do you mean statistically? Pull, you got the statistics in your face. What did they rank last year statistically?
They old.
Again, Mike, what did they rank? Because you just named that.
I don't know what they ranked.
You just lost your best pass rusher. You lost Daquan Jones.
No, we didn't.
What you mean? Statistically, who was the best pass rusher on your team last year?
Brian Burns.
Statistically. For that year, statistically, where y'all went second.
Our Pro Bowler.
Okay, and where is he now?
It was a 1-year rental. But that's what I'm trying.
It was a 1-year anomaly, second ranked defense.
We didn't even have our first round pick, dog. We lose our first round pick. We lose our first round pick. We lose our best offensive weapon, and we lose our quarterback. And yet you talk about this and that. So none of that matters, right?
But you're naming stuff. You're naming stuff. You wanted to talk about. What happened? Once again, that's not something we don't know.
What happens?
We don't know.
Yeah, you do know.
There's no 2020 to this. There isn't. We don't know what it's going to look like. Yes. Do we not win as many games? Of course we don't.
And that's all.
But it don't mean we're going to end up a 5-12 team like you guys are.
You shouldn't. You're a more veteran team. You've been drafting top 10 for 13 fucking years.
And y'all been losing. Have a losing season for the last fucking 5.
It ain't been.
What
5.
have y'all done for me lately, motherfucker?
Right.
What are you talking about?
It ain't been 5.
What you mean?
It ain't been 5.
Okay, 4. I'm sorry, I included this year. My bad. My bad. I included this year.
We ain't losing this year.
5-12, 5-11. What? 6 and whatever. I don't know. Oh man, I gotta pull that up. You want to talk about? Because you want to talk about 10 years. Let's talk about what have you done for me lately, team. What has the Carolina Panthers done lately? 5-12, 5-11, 5-11, 7-9.
Yes. Yeah, you're right, Tria. He know exactly what happened. So miss me with that. He trying to act like we don't know.
Yes, we're not winning as many games.
Yeah, right. Okay then.
But we're not doing what the Carolina Panthers have done for the last 4 seasons, going into 5, having a losing record.
Yes, you are.
Shit. Well, we won't know because right now, as of right now, my quarterback is healthy because he's behind a healthy offensive line, and we ain't got to worry about none of that right now. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. That does not happen because you've been wishing injuries on my team for the last year or so now.
No, I haven't.
You have been wishing it.
I said that Super Bowl.
Continue on with that shit.
Okay. All right. So as it stands, let's get into this talk. Then we're gonna stay on the quarterback situation in the NFC South. How are you ranking these quarterbacks?
Tampa 1. Oh shit. I don't know. Just Tampa 1.
No,
because it's a clusterfuck of just everything else.
How do you rank them?
I'm ranking New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons. Because I think Marcus Mariota is just a backup, just in pace right now until they get something else. Baker Mayfield, from what I'm hearing and what makes sense, if that's what y'all going to do, he's just a placeholder for the next quarterback to come as well. And then New Orleans Saints,
That don't matter. We talking about just the play.
And right, he's coming into a team 2-3 weeks out from camp. And then you got Jameis Winston, who with this team is 5-2 and has a winning record as a quarterback, starting quarterback with that team. And then Tom Brady, obviously, at number 1, head and shoulders over everybody else in the South.
I agree 1,000% with you. If I had to do my order, it would be Tom Brady, Jameis Winston, Baker, Marcus Mariota. That's exactly my order. A lot of people are going to be like, you choosing Jameis over him? Absolutely. He was a number 1 draft pick, just like Baker. I've seen more from Jameis. I've seen more growth and maturity from Jameis. He had like 14 touchdowns to 5 turnovers or something like that before he went out and was 5-2. He was playing really, really well. If he stays healthy, we don't know, but the likelihood of them making the playoffs, they do. They do. So I'm not gonna sit there and say Baker, because I'm telling y'all straight up in the camera, I'm not and not have been a Baker fan. But what I am gonna say is he has a moxie and a dog about him that old Mr. Beverly Hills prissy Sam Darnold doesn't have. And to get a guy like Icky, who is a dog, to get J.C. Horn, who's a dog, to get these dogs on the football team, to me, is showing the attitude of where this team is going.
Xavier Woods, J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin, C.J. Henderson, Dante Jackson. Okay, you just named a bunch of names. No. And J.C. Horn didn't play last year, right?
He played.
Xavier Woods is a pretty good, he's pretty good safety. But you got to turn around, and they basically did the same thing with New Orleans. When you want to talk about a team that brought in players, they brought in a Marcus May and a Tyrann Mathieu, who are upper echelon safeties in this league, right?
Who, Tyrann?
Yeah, they're on the higher side of safety play, right? Marshawn Lattimore has already made himself be known as one of the elite corners in this league. Carolina doesn't have an elite corner. As J.C. Horn looks promising. Like me and Mike talked about this. I ain't got nothing against you. I ain't got nothing against J.C. Horn.
You don't.
I get on the field, just play. I know that you can't. He got an injury. I will never take nothing against something like that, right? So Dante Jackson has been a nice, 2. He has been. When he's in that 2 position, I think he is one of the better cornerbacks in the league. So I'll give you that. And C.J. Henderson, you can miss me with C.J. Henderson. He just all he is right now is a high drafted player at this point.
That's fair.
That's really it right now. So just don't give me a name to be giving me a name, because New Orleans Saints have names and players that continuously play in their top 10 defense probably over the last, about 5 years, Mike?
Right.
With C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Paulson Adebo. Well, he's.
No.
I'm not gonna give that. Marshawn Lattimore, definitely.
And they lost their entire safety room.
And they just replaced it with Pro Bowls and All Pros and all that stuff. So you can't act like they just lost that room and didn't replace it with players that can play.
Right.
So
even though for this argument,
we got Bradley Roby, who has been an All-Pro, Pro Bowl corner on top of that too. So there's no question they have a much better secondary than anybody in the South. I can disagree with that. You can disagree with that because it's been about 4 or 5 years running. This team has been a top-ranked defense, and nobody can ever question it. You can't even question that, Mike.
Well, the reason why I can is because we play them. Y'all play them, and it seems like they get up for y'all and embarrass the crap out of y'all like they used to do us. We split with them the past few years. So I haven't seen what you've seen I know they played. Yeah, well,
They played 50 or 11 other teams, Mike, in the season.
I get that. But it's the same thing when we talk about AJ Terrell and you don't put him in position the way he puts because y'all toast him. It's the same thing I talk about Mike Evans because Bradbury and Josh Norman and them used to lock him up. That's why.
Like you get what it is. Second there. Problem. Yeah. But the cornerbacks.
But
then you like to get what? Oh, Mike Tito.
I don't know. I thought you were gonna figure. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about, man. But yeah, I do.
Exactly true. He has been. He showed promise. You're right, and they already still got Bradley Roby and Steve Gardner
Taylor. Finish the damn sentence.
But I'm not taking the defense. I'm not taking the defense for 1 year that you guys are like now. They're one of the best defenses in the NFL. That's not happening. There's people that interchanged in that. Guess what team that has not interchanged into that?
Hold on.
Because we're talking about because you came out and said this is I just said this is the best. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about. I'm just saying there's no way you guys just came out your mouth and said not even close. Best secondary in the South. That's all I'm basically doing is talking about that.
Facts.
You must love your goddamn. What the fuck is in your cut? What is in your cut?
I'm just going. It was no fly zone, DJ. You said what you want to say. It was no fly zone. We finished. The only team better than us against the pass was the Buffalo Bills. That was it. And this is the what have you done for me lately league. You just said that. That's what you said.
No, I'm talking. When I say what have you done for me lately, I'm definitely talking about 3 to 5 years. I'm not going 10 to 15, 20 years in cowboy land like cowboy stuff. That's cowboy shit. We don't talk about stuff like that with this podcast. No, I'm talking about lately, as in I'll say 3 years because things change. I look at it as let's compare it to contracts. Usually contracts last about 4 to 5 years, right, Mike?
Right.
Because after that, this could be a lot of teams. If teams don't re-sign their players after 4 to 5 years, we're talking about a totally different team.
Right.
Can we agree on that? So yeah, at least about 4 years. What have you done in 4 years?
We improved and got better. We went from shit to sugar. What do you mean?
I don't know if you went to shit to sugar. Shit.
Yeah, our defense
a little powder on the shit.
Our defense
powder on it.
Our defense was horrendous when Matt Rule took over, and that was what 2-3 years ago. Now it was pretty bad, and he's built it by drafting a.
He has built it, and you guys have 1 year so far at being an upper tier defense. Do it again.
Oh, I know.
Stay in that top five. Stay in that top five. If you want to continue to ring that bell about being 2, stay in that top 5 this year. That's all I'm saying.
The Saints were 14th, and we were 4th. But I will say this. We're not going to sit here and act like the Saints ain't been balling defensively.
I mean, that's
what helped
sign off on them.
No, what's helped them is they've played complementary football for many years too. And I think that a lot of people tend to just forget that and say, hey, this defense got to stay on the field. I give them a short – well, matter of fact, Minnesota Vikings game, we start out the first play of the game, Sam Darnold throws a pick. 6. Or a pick. I don't know if it was 6.
I remember he went one side of the field, came to the other side of the field, grew across his body, and threw that damn pick. I remember that play.
Right. So now you put the defense in horrible situations, and so that's the type of stuff. And then the defense makes plays for you, put you in positions to score, and you don't do it.
Like I said, I watched a good amount of Baker, and I'm very interested. And like I said, this is a fresh start for him, right?
Right.
I'll give him that, but from what I've seen, he he ain't gonna be leading nothing from a managing standpoint because I don't even think he's even a good game manager, and that's where you get your 15 range quarterback, 15 or 10 to 15. I think those are some pretty good, game managers. That's why I have him around 20 because he hasn't even become that for me yet. I'm very interested because you guys are talking this man up to see if he can at least be a game manager at this point. Because
me, go ahead. Me personally, he's in the 20 to 25 range.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry, y'all.
I agree with that.
I can't put him 15. I don't care what they PFF or none of them say. He ain't done enough for me to put him in top 15. I can't do it. I can't. But with that Baker, I'm gonna just say this. Baker brings a different attitude. He's gonna bring competition, and competition to me brings excellence. I think Sam Darnold his entire career has not had that. He's always been handed the keys and been the guy without anybody looking over his shoulders. You looked at USC. I wasn't a big fan of him there. He had the same situation. He went to the Jets. It was the same situation. He came to Carolina and didn't have to do that. He was the guy. We automatically gave him that. We got to make sure he's comfortable because we got to try to build and mold him back in his confidence and all this and that soft. I don't call him soft, but all that.
Soft. It's very soft.
Yeah.
It's very soft. Don't even try to
add competition. What this does is it brings competition. So you either going to get the best out of Sam. Oh, I love Steve Wilkes.
Oh, no, I'm a big fan of Steve Wilkes, too.
Yeah. But with that being said, it's just bringing competition. And with the adjustments the team make, it's something to be excited about. Is it going to turn out? We had this same conversation last year to say, how can Sam mess this up? And what did he do?
Thank you, Mike. I'm happy you said that because that's basically where this comes down to. Yep. You can mess this still up.
Yeah.
He might win and beat Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold's trash. I mean, I had this conversation and was so clear about it last year. There's 100,000 ways he can mess this up, and that's exactly what he did. Not a surprise. Baker Mayfield, I've been the one saying at least for 3 years that's been a really good roster for the Cleveland Browns. 3 years that's been a really good roster. The first year I can understand if he didn't get that, if he was about 8-8 that first year, 9-7, I probably would not be as critical or crucial on Baker with that. And then let's not also forget, I got a DJ Moore who's starting to creep himself up into being an upper echelon wide receiver in this league. What did Baker do to Odell Beckham? People were ready to write Odell Beckham off as the Odell Beckham that we all know prior to getting around Baker Mayfield. Just remember that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm
not
saying it's going to happen, but just know that.
If there's one receiver that I'm not concerned about when it comes to whatever quarterback he has, it's DJ Moore. He did that in college. I believe DJ had a different quarterback every year in college. He did the same thing here in the NFL, and he's still doing his thing. But it is something to think about. Like Trill once said, and we'll finish kind of with the Baker talk on this, I think Baker will bring that fire that will make the team play harder, but skill level is just slightly better than Sam. And I think that's exactly what I'm trying to say and convey. And I think that's what a lot of Panther fans are saying too. Is it going to be enough to take us over the edge where we can get 8 to 10 wins? Possibly. But we're not saying, you say 7, 8 to 10 wins, possibly. 7 to me was already going to happen. But it's something to be excited about. It's something to pay attention to because he has more, I don't want to say potential. He's put the ball in the hole. We talk about scoring. He has 90-something touchdowns when Sam Darnold only has 50, along with 50-something interceptions.
Yeah, I see you say how many quarterbacks has DJ had. I'm not saying DJ hasn't done anything in his career. Like that wasn't even nowhere close to my conversation with this. What I'm saying is Odell Beckham, prior to comes to the Cleveland Browns, was heralded as a top 3, top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. By the end of his tenure there, people were questioning if Odell Beckham was still even a good quarterback. I mean, a wide receiver. Could he still run routes? Could he still get open? Could he do this?
It's fair.
This happened with Baker Mayfield. I'm just pointing it out. I
Yeah.
probably don't want to hear it.
No, it's
I'm
the
pointing
truth.
it out. This is something that really happened. Also, Baker Mayfield had a two-headed monster at running back. Do y'all have Christian McCaffrey? Of course you do. Is he, when he's healthy, one of the better running backs in the league? Of course he is. But he's already had that in his career.
Yes.
And he still struggles with winning. That's all I'm saying. Look, y'all can take this for what this is, but this is just what he has had in Cleveland. And now he's coming to the Carolina Panthers. That's all I'm saying.
I just think
3 weeks until training camp.
You're right. I look at it as when you go number one, most players, if you look at their first 4 years as a number one draft pick, they don't have winning records. A lot of them don't. And he's right there at 500. I mean, he's one game off. I think he has like 30 wins, 30 losses, 29. So, and this is a team that has been historically awful, which has been worse than actually y'all in the last 2 decades. So I think that's something to hold on to, but everything else DJ's saying, I think is facts. I mean, I know we're excited, Panther fans. I get it. I'm excited, but we got to be realistic about this too. We can't think that Baker's going to be the savior and he's just going to come right in and everybody, well, we're getting 10 to 12 wins and we're going to hit the ground running and win a Super Bowl like Tampa did when Tom Brady came in. And I think that's all DJ's trying to say. One thing about DJ is he's the type of person that I love to be with especially this, because he's going to keep the temperature where it needs to be. We're going to be high as I don't know what because we're excited because we got something other than Sam.
I've been beat down long enough to know what that feels like.
Right. So the transition from Baker Mayfield, and I know Atlanta fans and Saints fans, y'all want to be here to talk, but it ain't even about that right now. We'll get a little bit more into that. We got to talk about Tampa Bay and their lack of tight end. I'm just playing. I want to bring up the Gronkowski situation. And I want some of y'all to chime in, if y'all can, just comment on this with Tampa, because they got Chris Godwin, who I believe is their best playmaker on the football field. He's the best playmaker on their team.
Fair.
I think Mike Evans is the most polarized and the most consistent player on their team other than Tom Brady. He's going to give you what he's going to give you every single year. So you can bank on that. But
Mike Evans is the top 5 deep threat in the NFL.
No, you better not say receiver. Okay.
I said deep threat. Yeah. The top 5 deep threat in the NFL. It's just that simple. Every team accounts for that.
And I'm curious because Tom Brady had a safety valve in Gronkowski and AB during that time that they won a Super Bowl and summer last season. Last season he didn't have AB a lot. I'm not gonna go there, but that's been his guy for as long as we know. And I'm curious to see how that's gonna translate, because this guy here believes that they're gonna just kind of hit the ground running because they replaced almost everything, so they should be fine. I'm curious to see if they're gonna be as dominant as they were the past 2 years. I mean, the Saints fans, y'all don't think they're dominant, and I get that. But I'm curious to see. So I want to know where you stand at on that position, because that is a key position for Tom Brady. Those tight ends and the running backs out of the backfield are huge for his game.
Right. So obviously the loss of Gronkowski is going to be obviously huge for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's there's no sugarcoating that losing somebody like that, somebody that, once again, like Mike said, a safety valve for Tom Brady. But Tom Brady has, in the past, worked with other players when he did not have Gronk. Obviously, we brought in Russell Gage this year. We got White rookie in the draft, Rashad White. They're comparing him obviously to a James White they used to have. So there's going to be some players. There's also some young players that I'm not going to really talk about because they haven't done anything in the league yet. When training camp comes, we start talking about that. We're going to get into those type of players who could be players to watch out for. But at the end of the day, it really hurts. I bet Tom Brady is on the phone with him, talking to him. As I said, I do think there is an over 80%, I would say about 75 to 80% chance that Gronkowski is a Buccaneer come week 1. But we got to remember that Gronkowski took a shot last year in the ribs or something like that, and he was out for a long period of time. He's probably tired of taking a lot of those hits, which I think might keep him retired. But I guarantee the wear and tear that he has taken, he wants to rest right now. It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't want to go through training camp. I just need to really just show up and be that once, like Mike said, the safety valve for Tom Brady when the season is here. Because remember at the beginning of the season when Rob Gronkowski got here 2 years ago, people were asking like, why is Rob not getting the ball? And Rob came on during a presser and said, I'm just a blocking tight end because people were just calling him that. That's all he's good for now because he can't get down the field and be explosive anymore. So that's why I really, as of right now, the tight end room is hurting. Obviously, Tom Brady has had Cam Brate for a little while. There could be something there. We drafted a Cade Ottoman. I call him Ottoman because he looks like a chair. I don't, but he comes in. He's a little injured. I think he had like an ankle or something like that or knee. So we got to see because he hasn't done anything for the team yet. But nobody's going to replace Rob Gronkowski. I mean, we talk about the AB, Russell Gage. I'm not going to say he's replacing, but he will be there every single game. You know what I'm saying? So that's somebody that can work underneath routes and things like that for Tom Brady. So, it's going to take a shot. We throw 5,000 yards again this year. If I had a betting man right now, no. If we throw 4,500, I still do believe that. But he still had probably about 40 touchdowns. I do still think he can have that with who's on this team.
Right. Well, I will say this. I think Gronk is 100%, 98% done. He is not going to come back to this game. He came back to help his boy do exactly what they did. He went to Florida. He said, man, this heat out here is different, but I got to get used to it. And he did. I just know he signed, you know what I'm saying? He signed a TV deal. He has all of that. And this is a quote from Mike Evans. He believes Gronkowski retiring, he is done playing football this time.
I believe it. I wouldn't be shocked. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's done.
He is rich. He is young. He is wild. He believes he's sexy. He can go do whatever he wants to do and continue to make money and have a healthier life. We just talked about what it just came out about Demaryius Thomas with CTE and what was going on with him. I think this is a time where he's like, you know what, it's done. So I'm curious to see how much of a hit that's going to take from Tampa. But DJ said, they got Russell Gage. I give him that. Russell Gage has been a 700-yard guy as the number 2, number 3 guy on Atlanta's football team. So to implement him in as the number 3 guy, sometimes maybe 2 if Chris Godwin isn't there, you're looking at production. He's been able to do that. And he stays on the field. So that was a really good pickup. So I'm not going to slight them on that. I'm just curious to see. To me, this isn't the team that they're not the team of the past. And I've said that to DJ a few times. They're not the team of the past 2 years to me.
And I haven't said you wrong either.
And I'm curious. And to me, we had a conversation, you and I, that we felt like the Saints and Atlanta was going to have to be rebuilding at a certain time and that us should be ahead. Tampa did what they needed to do to be there. We haven't yet. This is the year to have to take that over. And if we don't, then we got to really look at Matt Rule and his coaching staff and just say, all right, now what's going on? But Tampa is in the place that they are. Now, I don't know how long it's going to happen. Is Tom going to go out with a bang again? Are they going to give him the Peyton Manning treatment and let him go out and do whatever they can to make sure that man wins them a Super Bowl? Maybe. I don't know. But
I think that's why Todd Bowles now being the head coach, because that let's put that. And I've heard a lot of noise that they're comparing Todd Bowles to the hooded one up in New England, Mr. Belichick. That's why they said that they're looking at Tom Brady's excited to have him as a coach because he sees a lot of Belichick-esque type in him. So I think that's one reason why, Tom Brady has no problem being back, even with obviously Bruce Arians. And obviously that speculation that was the deal for me to come back. You got to get rid of Bruce Arians, which I think is a bunch of what. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they're saying. I don't know, but I don't know. I think the defense is. I don't want to get into it. We're already an hour or something into it. We're going to come back and get into the reasons why we think each team in the NFC South can possibly take the South and what would need to happen for them to take the South. So look out for that. And obviously, we got training camp coming up, camp battles. Well, actually, there's no reason to talk about that until actually training camp gets here. So we'll probably wait on that. And we're going to give our schedule predictions before the season gets here.
Yes, we are.
So that's definitely some things.
Looking at it today.
But yeah, that's all I really have. Like I said, and we're not talking about Atlanta Falcons, obviously, and the New Orleans Saints, because we're just waiting for y'all to get the training camp.
Well, we are going to talk a little bit about it before we exit, though.
What we got, Mike?
Alvin Kamara has been the best offensive player on that football team since he's been there. I don't want to hear about Slant Boy. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear about Drew.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about whoever them tight ends are. Alvin Kamara has been the best offensive player outside of maybe their offensive lineman, but I would still give it to Alvin Kamara. And he's going to be suspended more than likely for the first 6 games.
He's
and
probably
they got
going to appeal it. He's going to
3 divisional games, I believe, in the first 3 weeks.
Well, that's why a lot of Saints fans are very excited, because you just mentioned who I continuously forget because he ain't played for like 2 years. Michael Thomas, they're very excited. He's now running apparently full speed. He's been doing some box jumps, which has been getting people very excited. Michael Thomas, the return of Michael Thomas. Do you see the return of Michael Thomas being that impactful? Okay, there we go.
My bad. Go ahead.
Can he come in, and do you see his production being as par or close to from the years that we saw with him with Drew Brees, his first couple years in this league? What's Michael Thomas' forecast in the future?
No, I think there are. When I look at this team, if I got to put AJ Terrell on Michael Thomas, I think he can do a good job. If I put JC Horn on Michael Thomas, I think he's going to do a heck of a job. We put Carlton Davis on Michael Thomas, I think they're going to do a heck of a job. But they have not just him, Jarvis Landry, who I'm not a huge fan of, but I give him his props. And they got this Olay kid. And Jameis is known for getting guys yards. I don't care who you are. He's known to get the ball out there to give his players yards. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And I do think he does help this football team. I just don't know if it's enough because I don't see the balance that they have in the backfield that controlled everything. You got to think, man, the defense had a lot of rest because Alvin Kamara was so slippery and being able to move the chains and make plays and make plays and make plays, which allowed them to play to the best of their ability. This may be different. This may be different early in the year. So we will see.
I'm going to give a hell no. Hell no. Miss me with the Michael Thomas bull-ish, okay? Miss me with it, okay? When Michael Thomas was at the height of Michael Thomas, he was the only player in that wide receiver room that could do anything. Facts. On top of that, they had Drew Brees, who was probably one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history.
Facts.
History, okay? And then on top of that, Mike, I'm just going to keep stacking this shit. They had one of the greatest offensive minds in a Sean Payton scheming that motherfucker open. They used to have underneath routes that used to run natural picks for Michael Thomas. Sean Payton used to make. Got that man open. He had one of the lowest, Mike. He had one of the lowest yards per yards per catch in the NFL for years. So Saints fans, pump them brakes about a Michael Thomas return. Will he be an upgrade? Yes. Is he a definitely from what that room was a year to 2 years ago? Yes. He's gonna come in there. He's an automatic 1-2 in that locker. I'll say one. I'm not gonna cite him that much. But don't be surprised if Michael Thomas just turns into just a kind of a normal type receiver now that Jameis Winston, because he's going to spread that ball around. Jameis is not going to only look for a Michael Thomas when Michael Thomas was at his height, only wide receiver in that room, and Drew Brees had no other choice. Him or Jared Cook were like the two players he was throwing to, or Alvin Kamara underneath. That was y'all offense for a little while Michael Thomas was there.
Yes, it was.
So pump the motherfucking brakes on a Michael Thomas return. And a top 5 receiver in the league. Mr. Top 5 in the league. Shit.
Okay.
Miss me. You heard it here first. I had to click this motherfucker.
This is a great question from Trail One. Do we think Jarvis Landry will last the whole season? Jarvis Landry the past 2 years has not. He hasn't played, but I will give him credit.
Who did Jarvis Landry play with?
Well, didn't he play with he played Miami first. And then he came in with Baker. So when Baker got there, he's been playing with Baker. So let's he's had 2,000 yards season. Well, I take that back.
No, he had 1,000 yards.
1,000 yards season. 976.
And his average has went down since then. His production has dropped since coming to Cleveland. And the same way Odell Beckham was written off, Jarvis has started to go the same direction with the Cleveland Browns. Okay. Now he's leaving Cleveland. And a lot of that Saints noise, they're very excited. And people have been posting this man during training camp. Mini camp. And the way he fry him up, look us up. What is Odell?
Secondary is not as good, but anyway.
Of who? The Browns secondary?
No, you're talking about frying people up where he's at now.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
No, you meant DJ. What he just said. The mic drop.
I'm just saying.
Because being real, Jarvis Landry had almost 3,000 yard seasons with Tannehill.
He's a mediocre quarterback. I'll give him that all day. I've always called him a mediocre quarterback.
And he goes to Cleveland, and he still made Pro Bowls the first 2 years, and he only has one. But in that one season was the only season I believe he started and played all.
Charles getting old.
So we will see. We will see.
We're gonna point it out too.
I am
It's something to watch because now it's in the South, and we gotta go far to see it. We ain't got far to see what the hell that's gonna look like. And also, I guess this is something to be mentioning too. Odell Beckham's possibly to the Bucs, especially with now Gronk being gone. You don't think he can get on that phone? No taxes. Get that man a contract. I mean, let's talk about this. Is now that you talked about, right, Chris Godwin? We don't really know what he's going to look like going into camp, going into the season. Obviously, coming off that ACL injury. Odell Beckham seems like he's still in a place that he wants to win. Tom Brady's gonna get him that ball. We know he's gonna give him that ball.
But if I'm old, okay, you're right. But you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Now you got Russell Gage. I'm gonna be that third or fourth. I know it's tax free. It's warmer. It's closer.
And he's playing with the GOAT.
But would I want to go there or Green Bay or stay in LA? He seems like an LA kind of guy.
I do think he will stay with LA, but does LA want him back? That's the that's the question because obviously they got what you call it back?
Woods.
Cooper.
No, Woods is gone.
Woods is gone. Okay. But they haven't signed him yet, which I say it's interesting. I think if you're looking at Odell Beckham, two places that would make the most sense for him, I don't think he wants to go back to cold. Like I don't think he wants to go.
Me either.
He was already in New York for years, and he like, man, F that. Green Bay's even cold in New York. I ain't going to damn Green Bay.
And I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to play outside of next year.
Exactly. So I don't think he would want to go back there. I honestly think number one is Rams. I think Bucs are number two for Odell Beckham wanting to go. And I think number three, I don't think they're number three anymore because they've already done too much. It's New Orleans Saints. That's where, obviously the LSU and where he's from, all that stuff. But there's no way. I don't think there's no way they could fit him in already with that locker room they already have with what they got. So I do think Rams and Bucs
would be an option too. Dallas.
Dallas.
I mean, they got the money.
Yeah.
For right now. I think Dallas could be an option.
I think we got the best recruiter though. I think Tom Brady is on that phone. Especially now Gronk. If he on the phone with Gronk for him, dude. Oh my God. Buddy. You're not coming back, man. You're not coming back for real. I guarantee he's calling Odell Beckham. Because we had Antonio Brown with those players you named already, right? Chris Godwin. Because we don't know Chris Godwin coming back first year can get all the way back. That is a conversation that Bucs fans need to have. Because if Chris Godwin does even be good enough to be able to run again, or not running, I don't want to say that, but I'm just saying be there even at the beginning of the season. He's not going to come hit the ground running. So it might be a year that Chris Godwin might have to take a back seat. And like I said, Odell Beckham might be. I think he's a gun for hire at this point, Odell Beckham. He's not signing no long-term contracts. And Odell Beckham can easily come into the Bucs locker room and he can be that for this year.
Right.
So I'm watching it.
Okay. Well, that's good. I think, can y'all afford him? The salary cap is what it is. You can get whatever you want.
Right. Yes, we can afford him, Mike. Yes, we can. Mike.
One football. One. And I don't know if that's the place.
If we brought in Antonio Brown and his ego, we can deal with Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham is not a locker room cancer like Antonio Brown is.
That ain't even what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that
he's recovering, Trill. He's still recovering.
Von pulling Odell to the Bills. Hey,
he ain't going that cold.
I don't know if he want to go cold, man.
I don't think he's going cold at this point in his career. I'm telling you.
I really think LA felt like home to, and that's the thing. He felt so good being in that system that even if he took a slight pay cut, he can make that up with endorsements and all that other stuff out there in LA.
Honestly, how much does the Rams want him back is the question. I think Odell wants to be back with the Rams because I think they would have re-signed him if they really, really wanted him back at this point. I think that's the question. Because Sean McVay, he don't play no games all day. He go get players.
That's true.
They go get them because then they got Khalil Mack, right?
Nah, they got
or that was the Chargers.
The Chargers got Khalil Mack. They got
Khalil
Bobby
Mack.
Wagner.
Bobby Wagner. There it is.
Yeah,
So many
and,
great
they picked up,
transactions happened this year, man. Damn.
and they picked up Allen Robinson as an additional receiver.
Right.
I know. And they still have their young boy Van Jefferson that they want to be able
very
to.
high. Yep.
Yeah.
Very
So
I think the Bucs and Odell just make a lot of sense, at least for a year.
Oh.
In a hurrah, you would hate to see it, but I'm telling you.
Well, let them come. There's two receivers with ACL, whatever injuries that they got.
Oh, he's not coming off of that.
Nah, he's not.
That was a while ago. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, Scotland, he is still rehabbing that ACL injury.
No. So what happened to him? What was his injury? Do you know?
Who?
I can't remember what Odell Beckham's injury was in the Super Bowl. I thought it was that's what happened. I thought he re-injured his knee or ACL, something like that, and it was something that he just couldn't come back. He felt it and knew. ACL tear. He was on his way to winning the MVP before suffering an ACL tear in his left knee in the second quarter.
There's different levels or different grades of ACL tear.
You can grade all you want to.
I'm just saying. I just put it out there. I ain't saying it is. I'm just saying. So that's somebody out there to watch. Obviously, loss of Gronk. Possible replacements. I mean, I know Jared Cook is out there. Possibly back in the South, but nothing's going to replace Gronk. But I could see a vet possibly coming to the Bucs.
I think Tom Brady likes Cameron Brate enough.
I do too.
That he could be the guy, and he's just going to have to deal with the young rookies. And if you look at his history, these young tight ends have done well with Tom Brady. Whether it was Aaron Hernandez, rest in peace.
Even they had a bunch of tight. Let's talk about that, Mike.
Yeah, they had a bunch.
They got Bill. What's his name? Watson.
Watson
was there for a long time. Ben Watson was there for a long time.
Yeah.
You already named Mr. Rest in Peace or not Rest in Peace. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But Aaron Hernandez, Gronk. I don't know. There's been a lot of tight ends in New England that was able to put up production with Tom Brady. So yeah, I agree with that.
So next question, Trail 1. So Godwin's still hurt? So how hurt is Godwin? Is he going to be ready for week 1? Do we know what's going on with Chris?
We got to wait until training camp. I think training camp, I'm not speculating nothing. Obviously everybody's trying to make news out of something during the offseason because they're trying to get paid, right? So training camp's going to when it comes to injuries, training camp is going to show everything we need to know about players going into this season. If they ain't going, that's not good. Maybe you might have a day off or something. If they're not going at all, because that's what's going to show everything. That's why I said I'm excited for this upcoming time. I ain't trying to speculate nothing about any team until I see people get to training camp. Training camp is going to be a lot of fun, and it's the place you want to be. I'm telling you right now, I'm paying attention to everybody's shit.
Yeah, and I will be taking a trip. I don't want to
do that speculation bullshit.
I will be taking a trip to Watford. I'm gonna do everything I can to get some video, audio, some of that, and try to go live. If I can't go live, I'll at least record it, some of it, and see if I can post a few clips or something like that. But I will be at Watford this year at some point. I went last year. It was an amazing experience for me. Got to meet some really cool guys. Shout out to the 4-man rush. Shout out to Tyree Ross that was in there earlier. Shout out to Aaron. My boy Aaron Chase Jr. Shout out to everybody that I ran into out there, man. But I definitely will be there. So we're gonna have more, like I said, DJ. He got his baby situation. So forgive him at times because
we figuring this out.
This here is, if y'all know, y'all know. If you what's the acronym? If you know, you know. But everybody have RYK. I'm old, so I don't know.
Yeah, you do that better than I expect you. I think it's about push the T.
You know. Yeah. So, but I will say this: if somebody doesn't get their butt in shape, don't be surprised if he's cut from Tampa Bay.
You about Leonard Fournette?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess you got to look into his contract because he just signed that 3-year deal with us. That's what you see. I don't know. That's something. There's things definitely Tampa definitely watch that I gotta see and find out at this point.
Right. So DJ, we're gonna hold on to that. Next episode, we'll touch on some other things. What else you got, man?
I guess that's really it. Unless you want to touch the Goldman situation down in Atlanta, because you felt like that ain't gonna. You ain't really care for the move.
Nah, I'm not gonna say I don't care for the move. I'm talking about Leonard Fournette.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Leonard.
I don't think there's really any chance that Leonard Fournette's gonna get cut. But yeah,
well, you know how priest this time is. Everybody just be talking about stuff, man. Speaking of that, yeah, that's it. They just be talking about stuff, but I don't know his salary. But then we're talking about Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, Leonard. Obviously, we saw the pictures of him put on that weight. You know, he looks a little heavy, like he's enjoying his off season. I think Leonard Fournette is going to get himself in fine weight to come into training camp. I think he'll be fine going to training camp. Now, if he comes in look a little bigger still,
you got to put his ass on the offensive line or the fullback. Nah. But yeah, let's get to Atlanta real quick, and then we'll close it up because I don't want to neglect them. To hell with Atlanta, but
that's the team you're gonna be fighting for in the third position. God damn it!
No, okay, all right. So Jeremy McNichols, we know they picked him up, they released him. Tampa, y'all should know much about him.
That's all he's been doing since he's gotten to the NFL.
Yeah, and he came. You know, he was in Tennessee for some time, and so I thought he may have found a home because he was familiar with them. Nah, ain't happened. So Eddie Goldman, guy signed a 1-year deal. He's 28 years old from Florida State, beefed up. Excellent. I will give this. He's a very good run stopper. And they needed depth over there with Grady Jarrett. They needed backup, got to play beside him, however you want to be. They needed that. They need all the players they can get. One thing about Atlanta is that they're doing some very, very silent moves that aren't very DJ get because I had a different energy earlier.
Yes, you did.
I did. I had a different energy earlier. They're doing some very calculated, silent moves that could work out. They're not going flashy, getting these names. They're getting guys that fit what they want to do in football. And I love that approach. I've never been the type that I got to get a whole all-star team to win and this and that. I know it works some. We just seen the Rams. We've seen Tampa, the past two teams do that. It does win. But Atlanta's doing something that's building a foundation of how they want to coach and how they want to set the expectations. And they're getting guys in that can do that mold. Now, will it be successful? I don't know. But it's very intriguing because this guy, they need beef up on both of their lines. They went heavy in the draft, and now they just added another beef guy in the interior. So this was a very quiet move that could give them, once again, low risk, high reward moves.
And it's funny that we're sitting here talking about it the way we are now, because I thought you would have looked at this as that initially. That's why you threw me a little off when you were like, "Eddie Coleman, his best days are all behind him." Didn't one last year you guys were the ones to bring in a Daquan Jones to fill in in that position, and how that paid off. Wasn't he a player that was part of a team that you guys are talking about that was the number 2 defense in the NFL? And the Atlanta Falcons are doing stuff that are very similar to this. Look, I give Atlanta Falcons a lot of hell on this damn podcast over the years.
Yeah.
I'm impressed at what Arthur Smith has been doing and trying to change the face, because you got to change the face of what this team has been, because unlike a lot of other teams, we're kind of doing, the Bucs have changed their coach internally. When New Orleans Saints have changed their coach, so it's not that much of a shake feel with either one of those teams, and there's not a lot of just freak out from a fan's perspective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When Robert Vera got removed, you know what I'm saying, it was split. Let's just talk about that, all right? And when Arthur Smith first initially got there, people were like, who is this guy? Because nobody really knows what this guy is. Go look at the Tennessee Titans. What's another team that does a lot of low-key moves that people don't know these people's name, but they come into the system and play pretty well? And what is the Tennessee Titans? They don't have a lot of all-stars in that team. You're not going to find a Pro Bowl team littered with Tennessee Titans players. But guess what they do over there? They win.
Yeah.
They do a lot of winning over there. They ground and pound. They play defense. They have a game manager previously in Ryan Tannehill when he was there, Arthur Smith.
Right.
He's going to do the same shit in Atlanta. And he's going to creep up and punch people in the face that they ain't expecting. I'm telling you. Even them going 7-9 or 7-10 last year. What was last year? Whatever they went last year.
Right.
Was a surprise to many.
Yeah, it was.
So,
I'm not sleeping on them. What really bothered me, y'all, is it's the subtle things that they do. He comes in and like, that's a good pick, this and this and that. But when we do subtle moves, like bring in a Matt Ioannidis, bring in Bradley Bozeman, center that was with Baltimore, starting that played very well, beef up our offensive line and interiors. It's kind of like,
because
they do a subtle thing like that, and it's kind of like, ooh, I like what they're doing.
Because I've seen this already with you guys over now 2 seasons with Matt Rule, and it translates over is 2 seasons of 5-win seasons. We've already talked about how bad of a roster Atlanta was last year, and they still won 7 games in the first year with Arthur Smith. But you're making subtle moves, and it's not translating over into wins. It's not.
Did they have Matt Ryan the whole season?
They don't have a Matt Ryan even now.
And they're not going to win what you think they're going to win.
No, they're going to continue to have a losing record. I'm not sitting here acting like...
But that's what... Go ahead, Greg.
No, I'm not sitting here acting like that. Oh, that's what's going to put them over the top, and now they're going to win 10 games or 9 games or 8. Not even one. Maybe they lost one last year, which was 7. But it is a subtle move. But there's no expectation. I guess maybe because you're a Carolina Panther fan, I speak to you more than I talk to Atlanta Falcon fans. That you get excited about a lot of moves, Mike, that they have done with this, and nothing has so far translated
bullcrap
into anything but losing still.
Oh, you mean recently?
Yes.
I told you
Matt Rule. No, we're talking about the Matt Rule, okay. David Tepper era.
Okay. All right.
You have been excited, and you also tried to talk yourself into things like that we talked about you not doing in the first place. Okay.
Yes, that's fair.
And then when I come back and talk about, because like I said, those days of Ron Rivera, those days of football, that's just over. Him and Mr. Bojangles, those days is over. Your Carolina Panther fans need to let that shit go as well. As it stands right now, y'all climb out of a hole right now. You know what I'm saying? And just pump. Always want to come back to the Carolina Panthers. Just pump them damn brakes. The Cam Newton days, the Carolina Panther days, whatever y'all had with that shit is over. That shit's over. You know what I'm saying? Luke Kuechly. That shit is over. I see our podcast. I gotta let some shit go. and need to look at what is now in front of y'all, which is the David Tepper fucking coming out of deals in South Carolina on trade. Make it damn whatever for the training camp out in Rock Hill. And Matt Rule, who's only won in 2 years, 5 games, both those seasons.
Hey,
that's what you guys are right now.
Right. And I guess the optimism is it's growth. And the roster itself has grown, and it's exciting. To lose what we had, during that magical 2015 season and that stretch, to get to where we are roster-wise, I absolutely love it. I think this is a balance. This is one of the best offensive lines we've had in ages on paper. We address needs. We got a lot of receiver depth. We got tons of defensive guys in depth that it should work out. So, yes, there is a lot of optimism and excitement. And DJ used to be like this when I first met him.
Well, look,
yeah.
8 years ago now? 8 years now?
And so he was going through the same thing. And so for me having the optimism, I kind of understand where he was, because he felt like those same type of players, he had talent on his team and he was going to be able to win. And it didn't happen. And so I kept mentioning coaching. And now I'm in his seat.
And he's throwing the shit to the side.
Same thing.
And he's throwing the shit to the side. How tables have goddamn turned. Well, I do have one thing.
I'm one of the few.
So
I like him.
I see, which that was a move that has happened. Y'all have got, obviously, Matt Anitis, right?
Anitis, yes.
Do you think he will be better than Daquan Jones or does he still? He plays nose tackle as well, right? I'm pretty sure he's played for Redskins, right? Or
yeah.
Excuse me, football team. My bad. Don't demonetize us for that.
But one thing about him though, he also played with Phil Snow, just like Hassan Riddick.
Yeah, because he's a Temple guy, ain't he?
Yeah, I think he's Temple Baylor, one of them.
Yeah, he went to Temple. I mean, that's Matt Rule's blueprint right now. Like, he's bringing in players that were in those, with him somewhere. He's doing this a lot.
Right. He's a Jersey boy. And so I'm saying that because this guy we're talking to is a Jersey boy. So Jersey, he reps Jersey a lot. So he's a Jersey boy. But I do know these guys have had success. So I'm optimistic. He had it before. So will he be better? I don't know. But I do think he's going to play really well.
Yeah,
and year three, DJ, you said it. He's a builder. When we first started talking about Matt Rule. And year 3 is the year. So we got to see. We'll see. But anyway, man, anything else you want to touch on, man? Before I say my spiel and we wrap this thing up. I'm going to say mine, and I'm going to let you have the floor and let you say yours.
That's all I got. I'm optimistic, but a lot of my excitement and a lot of my get up y'all asses is going to come during, when training camp hits here. Like I said, we got a couple other things we need to talk about. Yeah. I'm looking forward to doing that, but I just can't wait for training camp. Like all this other shit. I can't wait for training camp, but I also can't wait to see these other teams in the South against it. I don't know. I just
right.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say this. And I'm not gonna speak on the Saints. We touched on them. I'm not gonna speak on the Falcons. We touched on them. I'm not even gonna speak on the Bucs. That's DJ. I'm gonna speak strictly about the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield today. Whether I wanted him or not. DJ and I talked about this actually the night before, yesterday, and I said it made more sense for Seattle to take him than us. Because while we have two of the same guys that came in, I didn't say guys that came in the same year with the same contract and all of that type of thing, the fifth-year option on our roster. But for them to do what they did and what they've done, especially Scott Fitterer last year and this year, is something amazing. He got the offensive tackle that we wanted. He was top on our board. We had the first offensive player to be able to be drafted in that class, and we got him. We had the first defensive player in that class last year, and we got him. This offensive line, y'all, Carolina Panther fans, we've been begging and begging and begging to address the offensive line. We built the defense year one. We added on to it year two. We brought in free agents and drafted offensive weapons, offensive line, Brady Christensen, tight end and Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard in the running back, Terrace Marshall in the receiver. We drafted all levels year two, along with some other extra defensive players. Year three, we bring in a left tackle that we needed, brought in a quarterback, addressed linebacker that we needed more depth in. We did everything we needed to do to have a very good, complete football team on paper. The only anomaly that I saw, the only issue, was still that quarterback, because I didn't believe Matt Corral was ready yet. He's extremely talented. He has so much heart and drive and all of that, but I think he's going to be one heck of a football player. But it just wouldn't have been right now. Be optimistic about this football team because we have quarterback competition. And competition to me breeds greatness. And not just that, Trill 1 hit it on the nail. I'm optimistic because of the new O-line. I've been a Panthers fan as long as they've been here, since 1994-95 season. That's when I moved to Charlotte. I was a military brat. I'm a North Carolina born, raised, kind of that type of thing. Military brat though. North Carolina's home. I'm in South Carolina now. So, but I've been following this team for many years. This offensive line that's been put together, I can't wait to see. But to me, it seems like one of the best ones we've had. And to be able to put our money where our mouth is and say, hey, this is a positions of need, and we need to address it, and they address it, I'm loving everything about it. So be optimistic. I'm not going to go in and tell y'all what I'm going to say as far as picks. Y'all are going to be extremely shocked on what I pick with this schedule, because I've been looking deep into the teams we're playing. I'm looking deep into the defenses, the quarterbacks, the playmakers, the coaching staff, and I know what some of these names have. But this ain't the same Pittsburgh Steelers team, even though Mike Tomlin is amazing. This ain't the same Seattle team, even though Pete Carroll's a very good coach. Some of these teams just aren't the same. Arizona is all hyped up, and we would handle Arizona, whether it's Kyle Allen, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridge, it don't matter who it is. We handle Arizona. So be optimistic. Let's not be crazy, but let's be optimistic, man, because right now, the Carolina Panthers and Matt Rule, and especially Scott Fitterer, are doing what we asked them to do. So we gotta support and ride with it. They're gonna give us a winning product. I truly believe that. But yeah, DJ, man, you got anything, man? Probably not.
Oh shit. Oh, Mike.
He get on my.
Oh, that was so pretty, Mike. That was so pretty. Oh, hey. How can you follow up something like that from my man Mike Ricks, man? I ain't got much. Just appreciate people coming through, chilling with us, getting all this stuff that we've been missing over these last couple of weeks out the way. Looking forward to what's to come. I'm looking forward to my Bucs continuing to now for 1 year on top of the South. Get that training camp and continue the direction that we're heading. Yes, has there been change with this team? Of course there has. But we still have Mr. Tom Brady, who's gonna lead the way. He's like LeBron James. But everything needs to be on that team. And we're gonna go out there, we're gonna play. Now the future, we can talk about that when this season's over. But as of right now, there's no optimistic as a Bucs fan. It's just continue to push on, and it's Super Bowl. Oh, but you got Tom Brady in his last year, probably with the Buccaneers. It has to be that, and we're preparing for that. Going into this season, let's go. Fire them cannons. Bucs all day. Let's get it. Let's get it.
This your boy Mike Ricks, man. Thank y'all once again for tuning in with us, man. Be back next Wednesday, 9:30 to 9:40.
CP time. 9:30 CP time.
But we appreciate y'all for real rocking with us, man. We had no intentions on going 2 hours. It's been a while, so
yeah, just talking today. Yeah, just talking.
We had fun. So thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for the comments and the support. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share it, all that good stuff, man. We got to build this thing. And commitment you all are showing to us, even though we've been gone for a while. You can't thank y'all enough, man. So we got to be more committed to y'all. We got to be more committed.
We got to do better for y'all. I ain't for us, for y'all. We tired of people coming to be like, yo, where the hell have you been? Right. And I'm explaining individually where I've been. Yeah, and I know because I don't show up all the time that people probably fall off your wagon. But you got to get you back. So that's what we're here to do. So.
Yes, sir. Hey, much love. Keep pounding, baby.
Man, fire them cannons, man. You already know what it is. NFC South champs right now. Super Bowl winning Buccaneers. Let's go.
We out. Peace.